Hi, it's Jason Perico here to tell you that this month at Bianchi Honda, you choose. You can lease the 2015 Honda Civic LX Automatic Stand for $199 a month, or lease the 2015 Honda Accord LX Automatic Stand for $199 a month, both with no money down. That's right, lease either one of these two great vehicles for $199 a month with no money down. Bianchi Honda. Visit us at BianchiHonda.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I am James R. It is a Thursday, so that means one thing. Gannon University football with Brad Rzyczycki. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Obviously, the first question, you had a chance, I don't want to say analyze. Digest would be tough. Analyze the game against Clarion. I know we did the coaches show immediately following the Gannon game. And, you know, just as my job, you're not going to sit there and ask a coach stupid questions after a tough loss. You were nice enough to come over, answer everything. But now did you go through the film, or is it one of those games you didn't want to look at? But now you had a chance to look at it. What did you see?
There's a lot of us not executing. You know, we came out flat, I thought, for the most part. You know, I don't know that obviously we played our best game since I've been here, but you know we've got to come out and execute the game plan a little bit better. You know, give Clarion all the credit though. They came out and played hard. Their receivers made some catches on our DBs, and we had, you know, some kids that didn't play for us on Saturday, and some new guys out there, some freshmen that hadn't played before that got some experience on the field. But all in all, Jimmy, going back through it and looking at it, you know, I got to give Clarion all the credit in the world. I thought they came out and played hard, and you know, we didn't execute our game plan, which is on us as coaches and as players, and we can't let that happen again.
You know, I've used this term a lot over the years in high school, college sports, and the term is senioritis. The team just doesn't look as sharp. The Liam Nadlers, the Brock Jones, and I know the offensive line is different. They just don't look as crisp or anything to me. Is there anything to that at all?
No, I think, you know, there's got to be something to it. You know, I don't know if it's senioritis or the entire team's flat, or did they think we were going to walk on the field after our big victory at Kutztown, which was a very good team, and take Clarion lightly. I know we didn't do it as a coaching staff. We don't prepare for someone else when we're playing the team that current week, but I don't know what it was. We were flat. You know, we kind of have to chalk that one up and put it behind us because it wasn't us from that standpoint, and we were much different in the Kutztown game, and you know, that's what we're trying to get back to with these guys. And no one, you know, the whole Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference West is good. I mean, you saw the scores from last Saturday. You've got to get up every week, and if you don't, everyone's going to give us their best shot because of the preseason rankings and what we had coming back. And we are a little bit hit by the injury bug. But Clarion played well. Give them all the credit in the world. We got to do a better job executing, come out. And I think the kids are ready this week. I think reality hit them in the face a little bit, and you should see a different crew on this Saturday.
Scheme-wise, Clarion do anything offensively and defensively you hadn't seen before?
No, not really. You know, they did what they showed on film for the most part. Well,
if your team doesn't get up for Slippery Rock, I mean, it's a pretty good rivalry, and we all know there's a lot of chatter, you know, from Slippery Rock last year. Boy, I said before the game, I don't think Coach Rzyczycki's going to have to worry about this team. If this team doesn't come out fired up on its own.
Absolutely. These guys know what's at stake. And, you know, our back's against the wall now. So is Slippery Rocks and everyone else that's got one loss in the PSAC West that you have to go out and be hungry and be ready to play this one. So the kids will be ready.
You have to win out.
Absolutely.
There's no, as I said earlier, if there was a mulligan, you guys used yours already. The problem, like Slippery Rock has one loss. They lost to Seton Hill, which, you know, that used to be, you know, oh boy, we got Seton Hill. That's going to be a tough game. But I think their loss wasn't as bad as your loss because watching Clarion, I don't know if they're going to lose twice. They could, you know, but they have to lose twice for you guys to beat them or end up in a three-way tie.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know what happens with a three-way tie, but I know in a tie with Clarion, you lose head-to-head. So you must win out, which means every game is a must-win situation, right, Coach?
Yeah, it's tough for me to look beyond the one that we're
I
playing
know.
like that. But you're right. My job is to watch the film of obviously who we're playing and all the opponents. This is probably the most even the PSAC West has ever been.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom. And Seton Hill, we seen that game. They played Westchester, and they were winning with 3 minutes to go in the game out there at Westchester, and to come back and beat Slippery Rock. So that should tell you where the conference is. Obviously, Clarion came up here and beat us. So it's extremely competitive, Jimmy. In the end, it's going to have to shake itself out, but we have just got to worry about Slippery Rock this week and can't look beyond that.
After looking at film of Slippery Rock, are they doing anything different offensively or defensively, and how did Seton Hill beat them?
They beat them, I think, throwing the ball. Their receivers made some unbelievable plays against Slippery Rock, and it got to the point where it became a who's going to score last contest, and Slippery Rock missed a field goal to put it in overtime at the end. But Seton Hill's getting better, game by game, year by year. So they're extremely competitive. But Slippery Rock's the same. They're the same on offense. They're an up-tempo offense. They're a four-man front on defense. They're not any different. Their players, they have a ton of seniors and juniors on their team. So, they're experienced, and they do the same schemes they've always have.
You look after 1 week of PSAC play, Gannon, Slippery Rock, Mercier's 0-1, Seton Hill, Clarion 1-0. It just keeps everything in perspective how you've got to be up. Boy, and if you have to tell your kids that, then there's a problem now. I mean, it was shown to them Saturday.
Absolutely. You hate to have it happen that way, but you're absolutely right. You've got to get up. And the thing about, I understand the expectations that everyone has for you, but each season has its life of its own. And I got kids playing in different positions that, Luke Ranke's aren't there anymore, the Alex Davises, and those kids that have filled in for him are doing better. You're just waiting for them to come around, and there's some things on film, that they're going to learn from week to week. But it's an extremely competitive conference that we're in, and like you said, we should be ready this week. And if it ever was an eye opener, it was last week for us. So they'll be ready.
A week ago, you and I were sitting here. You were extremely pleased coming off Gannon's best performance, record-breaking, against a Kutztown team. And I know coaches don't like to look back or look ahead. That's for, broadcasters. But did that almost work against you having such a great game, do you think?
It may have, Jimmy. It's an 18 to 22-year-old psyche with social media that didn't exist when I'm in my 40s now, so when I played. And, you got a bunch of people in their ears, but it's my job as the head football coach to make sure that they understand we play from week to week, and that record breaking is what we're capable of, that offensive performance and the defensive performance we had against Kutztown. But we got a reality check last week with Clarion coming to town. So it happened. It is what it is, and we've got to move on. But, yeah, it may have worked against us in that situation.
Your fourth year and being associated with the program, doing the radio, to me that was your most disappointing loss. I don't know if you feel that way. How did you yourself bounce back, and how did you come back mentally, and your philosophy, we're going to grind this team, we got to get their attention, or it's one game, we've had some injuries, I don't want to wear them out. I guess the question is, how was practice this week?
Practice actually was really good. And Tuesday was our best.
Did you do anything tougher than usual?
No, I think the kids realized it. You could see the intensity out on the field on Tuesday. But, I'm a grinder. We went back to work Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and didn't get out of there until 11 o'clock. And, hard work works, and we just got to get back after it as coaches and get back and communicate with the kids. But, again, watching the film and everything, Jimmy, I still got to give Clarion credit in that situation. It's a tough loss, but it's something that it shows your character if you're going to get beyond it or not. And we just got to continue to go out and grind away. It is what it is, but we have got to get past it.
And speaking of character, you and I talk about all the time, the tough teams win in bad weather conditions. You have to look ahead, I guess. It's supposed to be rainy and windy. So the mettle of this team is going to be tested more than ever.
Absolutely, and we talk about that all the time. The good thing for us is we had a game that was a torrential downpour for at least the second half of the football game. So we know the balls will be wet, the wind will be blowing. Our field is a little bit unique in the way the wind blows through there. So, yeah, we prepared for it all week, looking at the forecast and having the potential maybe to rain the whole game, but we know there'll be a wind up there a little bit. So I agree with you. Tougher teams win in those situations. I talked with those guys about it today at practice.
Slippery rock on offense. Do you think they prefer to score running or passing or moving the ball either way?
I think they're a lot like us. They're up-tempo. I think anybody wants to be able to run the ball to score, but they will throw it. And the kid they have back there right now, number 6, is an athletic kid that he even will drop back and pass. And you have your opportunities. You have got to get him on the ground because he's athletic enough to get out of the pocket and run away. But I think they're going to take what you give them. So if that's throwing the ball, if you leave an uncovered receiver, they'll throw a bubble. If not, they'll give a zone play. But they want to run it like everybody else. But if they're forced to throw it, they can do that too.
Why do you think Clarion was so successful offensively? What did you see on film?
Yeah, I think they executed really well. I think their quarterback played a great game, and the receivers were tipping the ball to themselves and catching the ball in the back of the end zone and making plays that our kids weren't for the most part. So besides the long run that got us, I didn't think they had a very effective run game against us. I thought we hit our run fits, and we missed a couple tackles on that 70-yard run that got away from us. But we've got to clean up our stuff in the secondary. I think that's where we struggled, and they had a day on us.
With such a huge game, did you look at any personnel changes, and then did you make any?
Absolutely. You have to always make some adjustments and make some personnel changes, and you'll see some different kids out in the field on Saturday.
On defense and offense?
Both.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
So you're not afraid to if you feel you got to make a move, no matter how important this game is, these people are going to have to go in there and perform, right?
Yeah, you got to put what you think is going to give us the best chance to win the football game. And after we went back as a staff and reevaluated the game and, the certain positions on the field that may have been giving us problems, we have got to go throw competition on that field and make someone rise. And if that's bringing some younger kids along and forcing them into situations that maybe they're not ready for, that's what we'll have to do. But other kids are going to get their opportunity as this thing goes along.
And I'm not the type of announcer that looks for a sensational story or anything. You yourself 3 times in the postgame show alluded to we've got problems on and off the field that need to be addressed. Did you address those?
Absolutely. And some of them are in-house, but yeah, I think we've cleaned that part of it up, and our kids were completely focused on football this week.
All right, Coach Rzyczycki, homecoming.
Yeah. I
am fired up for this game. So it's going to be rainy, and that's what. Hey, the tougher team wins, the tougher fans will enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Jimmy.
We'll be back.